salute to you all. The brave never fall. I am really heavily into Jocko Willink, and he had another guy that I really admire and love to listen to him talk, and that's Jordan Peterson. And that's not to say that everything that comes out of Jordan's mouth I agree with, because I know that's like the big thing now is like you get attached to people you say you are interested in or like to hear talk. I like to listen to all people, and one of the things I like about Jordan Peterson is that he dives not only into the psychology of what people believe is always the good and positive about human beings, he also dives into the negative, malevolent things about people, not just the benevolent and the great things about people. You know, he looks at all aspects of people, and one of those aspects is, as human beings, we tend to play victim a lot. But on the other hand, we also don't look into the other person's shoes. We are kind of mirroring ourselves against. We see people all the time that are out in society, out very close to us in our homes. We look at these people and we do not have the fundamental empathy to actually know what these people are feeling, regardless of what you feel about this person or not. We lack the ability, most of us do, to truly, unconditionally put yourself in someone else's shoes and see their point of view, even when that person has done very, very horrible, horrible things. That's not to say that you're going to gravitate towards that, or you're going to get some kind of a magnetism pulled to it and you're going to become that person. Even though in social settings we see that a lot. If you are around these people enough, they will tend to toxify your life. That's why we call them toxic people. But I have always found that it's incredibly important to know why that person is the way they are. And one of the ways you can do it is, which I thought it was so great when I was listening to this podcast, and I'll put a link in the description to the very podcast I'm referring to. There's a quote that Jordan shares, and I forget who says it. I'll also try to find that quote and put the quote and the author of that quote below in the description, about if you was to suddenly die, and the moment you died in was your last moment, would that be the moment you would be happy with living on repeat for the rest of your life, or any moment in your life? Have you had a moment in your life where you could, if you could repeat that over and over and over again, you would? But focusing on your last moment, that is very powerful mindset. If you was to die right now in this moment, would you be in a space, not so much just the exact reason why you died, but where you were in life? And when I heard that quote, it kind of expanded my mindset to the last moment. If this is your last moment, would this be a moment you're proud of? Would it be a moment you would want to repeat over and over and over again if you got stuck in a time loop in it? And yeah, it's fantasy. Yeah, it's not something that is grounded in reality. But it's a healthy mindset when you go about thinking, well, what if I got stuck in this in real life? What if I get stuck in an endless loop of the same type of thing in real life? Self-discipline in the opposite direction, meaning I'm stuck in a loop of negativity, playing victim, no self-love. It's very easy for people to tell you to get self-love, which is why I make such a big deal about it with the Brave Never Fall, because it's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would be walking around with self-love. But you can go into a crowd of people, of 100 people, and you'll probably find very few people who actually truly have self-love for themselves. And even if you find these people, are they being deceitful? Do they even really truly understand it? Do I even really understand what self-love is? I don't know. I'm still looking for that reality. And I love the aspect of looking for it, because it gives me my last moment clarity. It gives me my last moment comfort, knowing that as long as I'm focused on my purpose, no matter what moment is my last, I don't mind repeating it, because my mind, my body, my heart, and my soul were aligned in the correct direction. Meaning, if I get stuck in it, okay, it's fine. What I don't want to be stuck in is an endless loop of me fooling myself and pretending and acting to be something that I'm not, to be someone that I could never be, based on things that I am being disillusioned about with myself. Like, I'm creating my own illusions about what I am and what I could be, what I was. And that is a hard fact. I know that I wasn't the greatest person in the world. And that's why I know now the feelings that I have now, if I got stuck in an endless time loop of the person and the moments that I'm living currently, I'm okay with that versus what I used to be, which would have been hell to me. And what's even more indicting about that is that it is all your creation. It was hell to me, but I was creating my own hell. I never stopped and took the time to think, what could I be in the positive direction? And that's what balance is all about, for me anyway. It's about finding that balance of, yes, I'm doing this, and reminding myself constantly where I could be if I make the wrong decision. What could happen to me if I make a decision that will put me in a place where I get stuck in a loop that I definitely don't want to be in if it's my last day on this planet. I want to make sure my last day on this planet, I'm doing something great. And I didn't even realize I thought like that until I heard this podcast, and I kind of thought that's pretty much my mindset when it comes to being in the moment and making sure that you make every moment count. And what is your action each moment, and your after action report, meaning, in military terms, when you perform an act, you look back on it and say, what could I have done right? What could I have done wrong? You just don't say, what could I have done right? You just don't say, what could I have done wrong? You do both. You analyze both aspects. And that brings me back to people. When you're dealing with people in life, how do you know you can truly deal with a person if you don't understand the fundamental nature of what a human being is capable of, which is pretty much everything and anything? We don't really know the bounds of what a person mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually can go, because there's just too many damn people on this planet. There's been too many people before us, so tons of people here now, and there's going to be even more in the future. We hope. If we don't destroy our earth and destroy ourselves in war and famine and disease. I think the thing I'm getting at here is that I've always tried to tell people, when you're dealing with people, you really do need to listen more to people, even if you disagree with them, because they will explain so much about themselves to you, and you will learn so much about yourself. I said this in the last podcast. It's a very important tool that I use to understand people. And that can be a tool you can use when you are unsure if you have empathy, true unconditional love for a person. You listen. You try to truly understand them. It doesn't mean you have to agree. You just understand why they are doing what they're doing. When you think about that, what word pops up in your mind when you think about it in those terms? Forgiveness. When people have resentment in their heart and they can't get over the hump of their own ego and their own self-indulgence and their narcissism, they lack a very important human trait, which is forgiveness. There's nothing more miserable to walking around and seeing somebody go about their day steeped in hatred, self-loathing, projecting it onto other people, hate, self-loathing, and wanting other people to be as miserable as they are. And that's the curious thing about this whole scenario, is that what's wrong with this person, why they lack forgiveness and they have this self-loathing, is that they don't understand other people as well. They haven't taken time to understand the good side of life, that there are good people out there that aren't out to get them. They aren't trying to hurt them or try to make them look stupid or bully them. These are all constructs in their mind for the most part. It's not to say it hasn't happened to them or won't happen in the future or is not happening now. Is that these people have not stopped and taken personal ownership of their own possibilities in life. They are stuck in a loop, which if it's their last moment, they're going to regret it because it's going to feel like purgatory. Forgiving someone is a healing tool. Understanding someone is a healing tool. Empathy is a healing tool. These are things that will heal and mend areas in your heart and your mind you never thought possible, all throughout your body and definitely with your soul. It's healing tools. And healing, one of the things about healing that I've learned when I've gone through very, very horrible things in my life, one of the pathways of healing is being able to kind of just step back and be silent. Understand what's going on around you, the people that are around you, what all these decisions were made, because you will get stuck in your mind and your mind will cloud you and doubt you and make you feel as if you are batshit crazy if you allow it to. I find listening to other people is therapeutic, which is why I gravitate to podcasts so much, because I learn so much just from listening. I don't have to ask a bunch of questions all the time. I can just sit back and listen. I can ask all the questions in the world. How do I know they're the right questions for me at that moment? How many questions are too much? Or you can sit back and stop interrupting the flow and just let someone speak. Regardless of what you feel about their position, where they come from, what their motivations are, it doesn't matter as long as you get the information and you dissect what you want to keep and you want to toss away with that knowledge, with those experiences that you empathize with. An easy way to learn how to empathize is by listening. An easy way of healing is by learning how to forgive and not hold resentment in your heart. To understand all the intangibles that comes along with the human mind, body, heart, and soul with each individual that you meet. They're all so different. It's like learning a new map in a new country you've never been to before. You're going to get lost if you don't understand who this person is, and you wonder why you're so discombobulated with this person. You haven't taken the time to navigate their streets, to stop at their road signs, to understand how their mayor of their own town runs the people in their own town, so to speak. These people are walking, breathing cities in a way. There's a lot going on there. You don't go to just any city and think, I have it all figured out here. I've never been here before, but I know what to do. No, you don't. No, you don't. And it's very presumptuous to think that every person you meet, you have them figured out. You have no fucking clue what these people are going through. The sad shame about it when I meet people is that people want to judge immediately whether or not a person in their life that they meet is worthless. People will go to, this person is not doing anything for me. Worthless. No one is worthless. Every single person, good, bad, and the ugly, has value. In some way, they will teach you something about yourself if you just listen. And when you live a life like that, I find that you will be so with yourself. It's hard for me to describe how I feel a lot of times when I have these type of mindsets. Not that I have everything figured out, because I don't. I am always trying to perfect this type of mindset for myself because it's very empowering for me. I'm figuring myself out. I know how I tick now. And I know waking up every day, not knowing who I'm going to meet and knowing that I'm not going to hold any resentment or judgment or ill will towards anyone, no matter what, is very healing. It's a powerful tool that I use every single day. I'm already empathetic. It puts that on super drive. It makes me understand people in ways I never thought I could. It makes me see people and accept people for who they are. Good, the bad, and the ugly. Everyone has a story to tell. Everyone's living a story. You are just a part in their story. It's not about you. It's about you for you. It's about them for them. You can separate those two. You realize, worry about your moments. Worry about what you're doing, what actions you're taking in your moment. And stop worrying about what other people are doing and why they are doing it. Does it really matter why somebody else is doing what they're doing if it doesn't even really affect your life? You are wasting your time, valuable time that you should be asking who the hell you are to yourself. Or you can ask this person, who are you? And you sit back and you listen. When they want you to speak, they'll let you speak. It's not a submissive thing. And you end up talking far more than you think you will. But you started by listening. How do you learn if you don't listen? Think about this. Each moment you take in life, each moment you live in life, I should say, is valuable. You want to live, if you're going to live in an endless loop, you want that endless loop to feel extremely valuable and personal to you. It's your story, your light. You had the ability to make it through one day in this world. That's an accomplishment, because this is a hard world, especially the older you get. Each day it's like, wow, I'm stronger than I thought I was. I got through another day of this world with these people, the beautiful, the ugly, the good and the bad. It's all there. It's all life. And when you can tap into that and realize every person you meet has some special quality, even if the person is a bad person, doesn't mean you have to talk to them. But I find it interesting to just listen. And it ties in to that last moment feel, because that last moment, that means I'm always going to be in a place where I was giving, I was being empathetic with unconditional love based on self-love of myself, and it's peaceful. So I want to be caught in an endless loop of peace. If I can't have purpose, if purpose is taken away from that loop, I at least want to have peace and the freedom to know that I can live in this peace. And if no one has told you this today, I love you. You deserve to hear that. Salute to you all, the brave never fall.